So good morning. We got lucky with the weather. It was just raining about 10 minutes ago, but now it's nice and sunny, so I quickly set up outside. Let's start this morning in a comfortable seat. Root down through the sits bones. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears and then gently soften them down your back. Rest the hands on the knees. Gently close the eyes, drawing the chin back in space to lengthen the back of the neck. Feeling a lift through the crown of the head. In the root of your sits bones and your pelvic floor, rooting down into your mat and into the ground, into the earth. Continuing with our focus this week on the root chakra or Muladhara, or physically the pelvic floor area, the sits bones, drawing awareness to this area in this moment. With the ease of your breath, feel grounded. In this area of your root chakra and also throughout your whole body. Notice how with this rootedness and groundedness, other parts of your body can soften. So you can start to soften through the arms and the legs, the jaw, and the space between the eyebrows. Feeling grounded through the ease of the breath. Feeling grounded through your root. And in turn, feeling grounded through your whole physical being, your mind, your spirit. Muladhara, or the root chakra, when in optimal energy, or when in balance, helps us to feel secure and safe, stable and grounded, connected. So by exercising it physically with different yoga postures and yoga sequences that help us to strengthen this area physically, and strengthening it mentally and emotionally, by simply drawing awareness to it, having the intention of balancing it. And when you bring awareness to it, maybe drawing attention to the color red, envisioning your roots rooting down into the earth and taking what it needs for nourishment. So having the intention throughout this yoga practice, and maybe even throughout the rest of the day, even through the weekend, to give Muladhara, or the root chakra, some extra attention, appreciation. And if you feel at all ungrounded or unstable in any way, use the ease of the breath to feel grounded. With this awareness on the sits bones that keeps you rooted in all instances. So with that intention, gently draw the chin down towards the chest. Gather your hands to heart center and flutter light back into the eyes. Gently drawing the head back to center. Release the left hand down to the mat beside the left hip and reach the right arm up and over to stretch over to the left, lengthening through the right side body. Breathing into the rootedness of the right hip as you reach the right arm up and over. Feel even through the sits bones. And then inhale, begin to switch sides. Right hand comes down to the mat, left arm reaches up and over. And again, notice if your left hip wants to start peeling up off the mat, and see if you can root down evenly, maybe engaging the muscles of the pelvic floor to help stay grounded here. And then gently begin to switch sides, left hand to the mat as the right arm reaches up and over. Inhaling to switch sides, left arm reaches up and over, we exhale. Inhale to switch sides, exhale to reach up and over. Inhaling to switch, exhaling to reach. Picking up the pace, inhaling to switch, exhaling to reach. Inhaling to switch, exhaling to reach, using the breath. Staying grounded through the sits bones, lengthening through the side body with the security and stability of the sits bones rooting down to keep you anchored. Last one, reaching over towards the left, and the left arm lifts to reach over to the right, and then we come back to the center, stretching the legs out in front, nice and long. Bring the fingertips behind you, gently begin to lean back, open the chest as you draw the shoulder blades together, and then begin to point the toes. Keep opening the heart up towards the sky. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together, opening up through the heart. And then gently begin to soften through the hands as we come back to center. Begin to hinge from the hips. Keep rooted through the sits bones as we walk our hands forward. Keep the chest open initially. Inhale. Exhale. Begin to melt down. Release the head and the neck towards the legs. Stretching the whole back body from heels to crown of head. And gently begin to roll up vertebra by vertebra. Shoulders roll down and away from the ears. Bring the right foot, so bend to the right knee, to bring the right foot on the outside of the left thigh. If this feels really awkward and it feels unrooting for that right sits bones, you're welcome to just bring the right foot to the inside of the left knee. Or if you're able to stay rooted through the right sits bones, go ahead and bring it on the outside. You can wrap your left elbow kind of around your right knee and then find a nice tall spine. So hugging the leg in but still keeping a nice tall spine. Inhale, reach the right arm high. Exhale, begin to rotate and open towards the right. So stacking vertebra on vertebra and then gently twisting. So keeping a nice tall spine. It might help to walk the right arm, right hand in a little bit if you feel like you're collapsing back and really trying to pull yourself. Try to find a space for your hand that works so that you're naturally or more easily keeping your spine nice and tall while maintaining the twist. Gently release back to center, release the right heel down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, don't fold just yet, just release your fingertips on the mat and then hinge from the hips. Keep the collarbones open initially. Open through the chest, inhale. Exhale to melt the whole torso down towards the legs, release the head and the neck here. Gently and slowly begin to roll up to a seat. Shoulders roll down and away from the ears, and we bring our left foot in. And again, on the outside of the right extended leg, or if you feel like you're lifting up through the left sits bones, it's fine to have it on the inside of the left leg. Wherever you land, stay rooted through both sits bones, wrapping the right arm around the left knee. So hugging that left knee in, nice and tall through the spine and lifting through the crown of the head. Inhale the left arm up and exhale to open a little bit further. Left hand lands behind the low back or the left hip. And you find a gentle twist through the spine. Keep noticing the breath and feel grounded through the ease of your breath. And then gently unwind back to center. Release the left leg long. Last seated forward fold for now. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding all the way forward. Release the head, release the neck. Maybe this is your deepest fold of the practice yet. Softness in the backs of the knees to soften through the whole back body as you release your head and your neck. Gently and slowly begin to roll up vertebra by vertebra. Pulling the shoulders down and away from the ears. We'll bring the legs around to come to tabletop or all fours. Spreading wide through the fingers, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Inhale, begin to tilt the tailbone up, open through the chest. Exhale, roll through the spine as you draw the chin to the chest. Inhale, drop the navel down and open through the chest. Exhale, draw the belly in as you arch through the spine. Last 3 here, inhaling to open. Exhaling to roll through the spine. Inhaling to open, move with the breath. Exhaling. Last one, inhaling to open. Exhaling to roll through the spine. And then come to a neutral spine, root down through the left hand and the right knee. So transfer the weight so that the left hand and the right knee take the brunt of it, and then extend the right arm long. Extend the left leg long, reaching opposite right arm with left leg. Squeeze the low belly and engage the muscles of the pelvic floor to activate Muladhara or root chakra for stability. On an exhale, meet in the middle, squeeze the elbow to the knee in the middle. Inhale to extend and lift. Exhale to squeeze in the middle. Inhale to extend and lift. Last one, exhale to the middle. Inhale, extend and lift, and then release down to the mat. Inhale the left arm high. Exhale, thread the needle. Arm reaches between the wrist and the knee, and you release the temple down to the mat. Wrap the right arm behind the back if that feels okay. Maybe you just walk the right arm out to open up through the shoulder. Gently draw the right hand back in front of the face wherever it was. Inhale, press into that right hand to lift the left arm up. And exhale, hands come down to the mat. Right hand begins to take most of the weight in the front. Left knee takes most of the weight in the back as you extend the left arm forward. Right leg back. Lift and breathe. And begin to activate Muladhara or root chakra for stability. Squeezing the muscles of the pelvic floor. Engage through the belly. Long through the back of the neck. So if you find yourself looking forward, that's going to make the balance harder. Look down in front of you onto the mat. Squeeze the low belly as you exhale. Bring the knee to the elbow. Inhale to reach and lift. Good. Exhale, knee to elbow in the center. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to lift. Last one to squeeze. Exhale. Inhale to reach. And then gently release down to the mat. Root into that left hand as you inhale. Reach the right arm high. Exhale, thread the needle to release the back of that arm down. Temple comes to the mat. Left arm can reach out in front, or it can wrap around your back. Begin to release the left hand back in front of your face to inhale, lifting the right arm back up, counter stretch. Exhale, both hands come to the mat. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips to find downward facing dog. Begin to really stretch the hips back, up and back. Relax through the shoulders, spread wide through the fingers. And maybe a little bit of hip sway back to the right and to the left. Feels good through the backs of the legs. Bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, bend the knee to send it through the center, planting the right foot in front of the thumbs. And then slide that left foot back to release the knee to the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, reaching the arms up, coming to a lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left hand stays. Inhale, twist the right arm up and open. Keep hugging that right knee in towards the center. Release the hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee. Step the left foot forward to meet the right foot. Forward fold. Release the head. Release the neck. Gently bend into the knees, roll up vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, upward salute, reach both arms up. Exhale, hands to the center. Bend the knees, hinge from the hips, fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands towards the mat. Step the left foot back, right foot back, left foot stays forward. Right foot back, left foot stays forward. Release the right knee down to the mat, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up, using Muladhara or root chakra to feel lifted. And then gently release the hands down to the mat, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Stepping the right foot forward to meet the left, forward fold, release the head, release the neck. Breathing into the backs of the legs. Gently bend the knees, roll up vertebra by vertebra. As you reach the top, inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands through heart center, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step the right foot back, step the left foot back. High plank. Pause here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With an awareness on the pelvic girdle, Begin to draw the hips up towards the sky, lifting the hips up and back. Doing this a couple more times. Inhaling, shoulders come over wrists, hips lower towards the ground. Exhale, pelvic girdle lifts up as you lift the hips and lengthen. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor to lift the hips up. Good, 2 more like that. Inhaling to come forward. Exhale to squeeze the root chakra to lift up. Last one, inhaling forward. Exhaling up and back, lifting the hips up and back, and then gently shift forward to bring the knees to the mat. Big toes to touch, knees come nice and wide. Send the hips back and release the forehead to the mat to find child's pose. Opening up through the lower back here. Allowing ease through the breath. Gently begin to shift the body weight forward, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips, find downward facing dog. Lengthening. Soft bend in the knees is okay here. Notice how the heels disappear behind the toes. Feet are at about hip width distance. Big toes to touch. Inhale the left leg high. This time, bend the knee open through the hip. And then square the hips off to step the left foot forward, right foot stays back. Release the back knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift the heart. Stay rooted through the sits bones. Release the hands down. Right hand stays rooted as you inhale, lifting the left arm up and open. Gently release the left hand, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee to step the right foot forward to meet the left. Forward fold, release the head, release the neck. Bending into the knees, gently roll up vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands through heart center, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step the left foot back, right foot stays forward, release the back knee, untuck the toes, inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands to the mat, tuck the toes under, lift the back knee, step forward. Release the head, release the neck, soft bend in the knees to roll up, vertebra by vertebra. As you arrive, inhale, upward salute. Exhale, hands through center, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, heart lifts and flat back. Hands to the mat. As you exhale, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, coming to high plank for 5. Squeezing the pelvic floor for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the knees, lift the hips up to find downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward to shift the shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, lift the hips up using the strength of the pelvic floor. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, use the strength of the belly and the pelvic floor to lift you up. Good, last 2, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Last 1, inhaling forward, exhaling, squeezing back. Big toes to touch, inhale, right leg high, bend the knee, open through the hip here. Stay rooted evenly through both hands and the back foot. Squaring off the hips, begin to step the right foot all the way forward. This time keeping the back knee lifted, root down to rise up to a crescent lunge. Deep inhale here. Deep exhale, root down. Soften through the shoulders and then release the hands down to the mat. Left fingertips to the mat. Option to lower the back knee if this feels too unbalanced. And then inhale, begin to lift the right arm up and open. Keep squeezing the right knee in towards the center. Gently release that back hands down and then shift the weight forward to step the left foot forward to meet the right. Release the head, release the neck. Bend into the knees, slowly roll up, vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the left foot back. Step the right foot back. Coming into high plank. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Squeeze the muscles of the pelvic floor as you exhale and lift the hips up to the sky. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring the big toes to touch. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step it all the way through to plant between the palms. Find your balance, keeping the back knee lifted. Inhale, lifting the heart all the way up. Exhale, soften the shoulders where you can. Soften the jaw. Inhale. Exhale, gently release the hands down to the mat. Right fingertips stay on the mat, or maybe your whole right hand comes down. Keep the back knee lifted if that's accessible, or you're welcome to lower it down. Inhale, begin to open the left arm towards the left. Keep hugging the left knee into the center. And then this time we're going to just release our left hand on the inner part of the left foot to walk our hands through center and find a wide-legged forward fold. All toes face towards the long side of the mat. Find a heaviness through the torso. So your head and neck hang heavy. You're not straining in any way to look in any direction. Gently begin to walk the hands towards the back of your mat, so towards your right foot. Turn your right foot towards the back edge of your mat. Bend into the right knee. And then inhale to open up to come up to warrior 2. So front or right knee over right ankle. Shoulders over hips. Long through the arms and really strong through this back leg. Gazes over the front fingertips. And notice that by engaging through the muscles of the pelvic floor and the low belly, even though we're not rooting down physically, we can still have that sense of rooting down, even though it's indirectly rooting down, if that makes sense. Release the right elbow onto the right knee and begin to lift the left arm up and over. Continue to engage the muscles of the pelvic floor for stability and support. Wrap that left arm around your back and peel the heart open towards the sky, if that feels okay on your shoulders. Always an option to modify keeping the hand on the hip, keeping the hand lifted, even keeping the hand on the heart. Keeping the left hand where it is, root down through the muscles of the pelvic floor and root down through the front foot to lift your body back up, and then lift that right arm. Keep going as you lift up, keeping a bend in that front knee. And then wrap that right arm around the back as well, but keep that heart lifting open. And then bring the shoulders back over the hips. Release the hands out to warrior two. Track the knee back. And then reach the fingertips forward, forward, forward. Release the right hand down to the right shin, to the right ankle, to the right foot. But you want to stay lifted through this line that goes through the center of your body. So if you're really reaching and stretching down, that kind of defeats the purpose. So you want to stay lifted and open through both sides of the body. And then gently begin to release that left hand down, bend into that right knee as you step the left back foot a little bit forward, setting up for warrior one. So our hips are square towards the back edge of the mat. Bend into that front knee, root down through the sits bones to inhale and lift up to warrior one. Slight back bend. Exhale, hands come through heart center. And we're going to shift into warrior three. So balance through that right foot as you begin to shift the weight into the right foot, and then lift the left leg up to come in line with the torso as the torso lowers down to come in line with the leg. So kind of simultaneously moving. Toes stay dialed down towards the mat to stay square through the hips. And then gently release the fingertips down to the mat. Find standing splits, which is just your torso melting down towards the right leg. Left leg stays lifted. Maybe you lift it a little bit higher, keeping those toes dialed down. Bend the knee to plant the left foot next to the right. Bend into the knees to lower down into chair pose. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands to the center. Find a twist. Left elbow onto right knee to hook and twist through the mid-torso line. Inhale through center and exhale. Inhale, upward salute, reaching the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips, holding forward. Release the head and the neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the left foot back, right foot stays forward. Inhale, lifting the heart, root to rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Left hand or fingertips stay planted as you inhale and open up the right arm. Exhale, hands through center. Walk the hands towards the left, so towards back to where we were before in that wide-legged stand forward fold. Release the head and the neck and just hang out here for a moment. Opening up through the lower back, allowing for space. And gently begin to walk the hands over to the left to turn the left toes towards the front edge of the mat. Bend into that left knee. Feel rooted through that back leg before you inhale and come up to warrior two on this side. So shoulders over hips, back leg nice and strong, front knee bent and strong. Look over the fingertips of the left hand. And feel a rootedness through your pelvic floor muscles as you root down through Muladhara or the root chakra. Begin to release that left elbow onto the left knee as you lift the right arm up and over. Find length from the outer part of your right foot all the way up to your right fingertips. And then option here to wrap the right arm around the back if that feels okay on the shoulder to lift the heart open, spiraling open. Stay committed to that bend in the front knee. And then staying rooted and using the muscles of your pelvic floor to lift your torso up. You just keep going. Your left arm reaches up and over. Stay committed to the bend in the front knee, opening up through that left rib cage. And then begin to wrap that left arm around, keeping the torso as is, kind of finding opposite hand and opposite elbow. And then gently begin to lift through the torso, arms reach out, begin to track that left knee back, reach the fingertips forward, 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 and then come down into triangle, lifting the right arm up, staying lifted through the crown of the head and long through the spine. I'm starting to get rained on a little bit, so I might need to guide the practice from inside. But I'll wait a few more minutes, maybe it'll pass. It's just spitting. Gently release the left hand down, bend into that front knee, and then begin to walk the back right foot a little bit forward. Setting up for warrior one, your hips want to be square towards the short edge of your mat. And then rooting down through the front foot, you inhale and lift up, find a slight back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. So hips are squared forward in warrior one. And then begin to root down through that left foot and shift the weight into the left foot. As you shift the weight forward, begin to come onto the tiptoes and then ultimately begin to lift that back leg up as the torso reaches forward until the heel and the crown of the head are in one line, more or less. The toes stay dialed down to keep the hips square in one line. Make sure you're breathing, and again, the gaze straight down on the floor in front of you rather than somewhere in front of you by arching your neck. Helps with balance. Gently release the fingertips down to the mat. Find standing splits, which is the back leg stays how it is. The torso melts down towards the left leg. And then gently release that right leg down. Inhale, reach up to crescent lunge. Exhale, release the hands down. Right hand stays planted as you inhale. Peel the left arm open. Exhale, hands come to the mat. And then step the Right foot forward to meet the left. Sink the hips down, set up for chair pose. As you inhale, lift the heart, lift the arms. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and you hook the right knee onto the, right elbow to left knee, twisting through the mid-torso, opening up here. Inhale to center, exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, upward salute, lengthen everything out. Exhale, bend the knees, folding all the way forward, release the head, release the neck. Heel toe, the feet about as wide as the mat. And then begin to sink the hips down, lowering the hips down as you bend the knees, coming into a yogi squat. Elbows root into the knees, knees root into the elbows, hands to heart center. Feel rooted through the lifted sits bones. Maybe closing the eyes and inviting the ease of breath to feel grounded. Release the right hand down to the mat. Inhale to lift and open the left arm up, finding a gentle twist. Drawing the knees apart from each other. Bring the left hand down and left elbow rooted into the right knee and open the right arm. And then exhale back to center, right? So both hands root down to lift the hips up, and then gently from side to side, bend into one knee, bend into the other. And then gently heel toe the feet together, bend into the knees, and gently and slowly roll up. Shoulders roll down and away from the ears. Bring the hands to the low back. Draw the elbows in together. Lift the heart up to the sky and then gently bend back, keeping an engagement through the belly. And then gently soften. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge from the hips. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the right knee to the mat. Step the left knee to the mat. Sink the hips back towards the heels. And then arms by the side, if that feels okay, to lower your forehead all the way to the mat. Gently plant the hands next to the face to draw the torso up, coming to sit on your heels. Maybe a gentle shoulder roll here, gentle wrist roll, and then bring the legs out to the front, planting the feet, both feet on the mat. We're gonna lean back to bring our left ankle just above our right knee. So finding seated figure 4 here. And we can be on our fingertips for support. We can be fully on our palms for support. Do what works best for your wrists. Stay flexed through this left foot. It helps protect the knee. And you can gauge how intense this stretch is for you by either leaning further back so that there's more space between your torso and your legs, or also walking the heel closer to the right heel, closer to the right hip will also intensify it. So the closer the heel is to the hip, the more intense, and the closer the torso is to the legs, the more intense. So find a hip opener on this side that feels nice in your body. Sometimes a little bit of movement can feel really nice too, if the hips are really tight. And then gently begin to release that side, coming to butterfly legs, soles of the feet together, knees wide, walking the body down, release the head and the neck, just kind of opening up again through that low back. And then gently releasing back up, right foot roots down. Or sorry, left foot roots down. I'm really not good with my lefts and rights today. Right ankle to left knee. And feel lifted through the heart. So if you feel like you're really starting to scrunch down, really try to puff the heart and the chest out. And then find your own edge. Find a stretch here that works nice in your body. If you want to invite a little bit of sway through the right hip, that can feel nice. And gently begin to let go of this side, finding butterfly legs again. Nice and open through the chest initially, and then gently fold over the legs, release the head and the neck. And then slowly come back through a seat. Bring the feet to the mat to begin to lower down. And again, feel the rootedness of your pelvic girdle as it holds you to gently lower all the way down, vertebra by vertebra. As you reach the floor, root down through the tailbone, really feeling into the tailbone before you extend the legs long. One and then the other. Shoulder blades walk closer together under the back. Opening the hands and the arms to the sky if that feels okay. And always options for other variations of Shavasana if this variation isn't working for you. So always an option to do something different with your legs, to rest your hands and your arms somewhere different. Never feel stuck in a posture or pose just because a teacher suggests it. And taking a few deep breaths to settle into our final pose of this practice. Breathing in through the nose, maybe exhaling to sigh it out. And then begin to feel and notice the back side of your body resting on the mat, resting on the floor. The points of the body that come into contact with the earth or the floor. Notice the front side of your body opening up to the sky. Feel the chest and the heart lifting. Feel the softening through the muscles of the face and the jaw, the tongue. Feel the bottom half of your body from hips to heels. And the top half of your body from hips to crown of head. Feel and notice the right half of your body and the left half of your body. And notice where the two halves of the body meet from crown of head to middle of the eyebrows, to throat, to heart, moving down the center through the solar plexus, the belly, the space between the navel and the pubic bone, and then right down to the muscles of the pelvic floor. Feel and notice your whole being resting in stillness with the ease of your breath.
Face.
And as you feel ready, begin to deepen your breath. Invite small movements back into your fingers and your toes. And then drawing the knees into the chest, gently rock from side to side. Rolling onto one side and eventually up to a seat. And as you come up to a seat, coming to cross legs. I've had to come inside quickly while you were all in Shavasana, so I'm doing this standing. But from a nice tall seat, sit up nice and tall on the sits bones and pause for a moment here with your roots and sits bones rooting down, your heart lifted, the crown of the head lifted. Breathing into this space, one last moment of this practice. And then gather your hands to heart center. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale together, sigh it out. And may any goodness from this yoga practice resonate out to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Have a nice weekend. Take care. Thank you.